I'm a believer that this team's going to win the national championship. Something stupid is coming out of his mouth. I don't know. Maybe it's just my age. He needs his vote pulled immediately. And of course, yes, a season like this has to have a name. Let's talk about something good about Justin Freck. What are you doing? The season of dreams. Ohio State, my guys, are either the best or the second best program in the history of college football. This guy is a bonehead. They love him. I question your judgment as an adult. I really do. I was a total hater. I know that for a fact, and I just don't get it. Get us back our sleeves and say, bring me that. That's the one I want. And welcome into JUCK on Bucks on a Sunday. I apologize. We did not get to our live show on Saturday with myself and Dylan Davis from the Delaware Gazette. Dylan didn't end up getting down to Atlanta in time to go to Media Day, but the Buckeyes and Notre Dame did have Media Day yesterday. We got some thoughts on that. I've also got 10 things that I want to see out of the Buckeyes tomorrow night. And this playoff has been so awesome. I mean, I've just loved this thing. I can't believe that I wasn't for this playoff. This has been amazing. I wonder if maybe Ohio State's success in this playoff has me skewed a little bit, but man, what a good time this has been. One thing that I think is something I didn't expect and something that I've loved is that we were able to deal with these opposing fan bases, big time opposing fan bases for big time games, like so many of them. We got to deal with Tennessee, then Oregon, then Texas, now Notre Dame. Each one has been a little different. And I respond to basically all my comments on the show on the JUCK on Bucks channel. So it's been fun to talk to these folks. But the thing is, they all had a reason why they were going to beat Ohio State. And the Tennessee folks, for them, it was the Michigan game. If Michigan could beat you like that, wait till you see what we're going to do to you. For Oregon, it was about the first game out at Autzen Stadium. We bombed on you in that game, and now our defense has Jordan Birch back. Our offensive line is playing better. You're missing Seth McLaughlin. There's no way you're going to beat us a second time. Against Texas, they were going to destroy Ohio State's offensive line with their souped-up defensive line. They're going to disrupt Will Howard, and on the back end, they're going to shut down the wide receivers. In Notre Dame, all you got to do to shut down Ohio State's offense is take away Jeremiah Smith. Texas and Michigan proved it. These are the prevailing things I'm hearing out of these fan bases as we've gone along. I don't understand why anybody can't recognize that the Michigan game was a total one-off. They keep bringing this up. Total one-off, coached differently, played differently. You shouldn't put any credence into it whatsoever. But I would also counter that the Texas game is a 17-0 or 21-0 advantage for Ohio State if they don't botch possession 2, 3, and 4 with penalties, and essentially ends in a blowout. Anyway, tomorrow night's the night. We get to see if the Buckeyes can finish off the season of dreams. And I recognize that in my intro there and what I've been saying about this season since, March is an incredibly corny thing to say. I get it. That's kind of why I like it. But I always thought that the season of dreams would end with us sitting here tomorrow night watching the game together and the Buckeyes playing in the national championship game. And if you were like me and couldn't swing that $2,500 ticket, airfare, and lodging to get down to this national championship game, but you want to enjoy it with a bunch of other Buckeyes, we will be streaming live during the game tomorrow night. So pop in, join some other Buckeyes, talk to us. I'll be calling the game. I don't know what, I don't know. I sometimes don't know exactly what to say. Should I call the whole play just to analyze what's going on? Just talk to the chat. We tried it for the Cotton Bowl. We did it for the Penn State Notre Dame game as well. I think it was pretty good for the Cotton Bowl. It got better. So it'll be fun. Pop in, say hello, leave a comment. We're giving away some shirts. Congratulations to Mika, Aaron, and who else? Somebody else. One other winner of our shirts last time. We'll be giving away some more again tomorrow night for the national championship game. But please like this video, by the way, and subscribe. Anyway, I was sitting down doing a season recap, which is way more interesting this year because I can actually look back at the pregame and postgame shows and see how I was feeling like right before and right after these games. And this season of dreams has not been like I thought it was going to be. I thought this Ohio State team would be a juggernaut most of the season. It was not, and it certainly took some things that I didn't think it was going to take to get these guys to playing the way they're playing right now. But it was all worth it because they're playing like a team that's going to win the national championship tomorrow night. And I've only seen 2 of those in my life. So whatever it took to get to that point, I'm okay with, and I will deal with. Does the Michigan game devalue the national championship? Hell no. Not even this much for me. Nope. I'll explain that a little bit tomorrow in my show tomorrow. Because I got a lot of thoughts on that. I've heard a lot about that this week. But at media day yesterday, Chip Kelly was feeling a little randy, and somebody asked him about Notre Dame double teaming. And he said they can double team everybody or anybody they want, but they can't double team everybody. If they do, it's a penalty because they got too many guys on the field. We saw that before against the team this year sometime. And obviously that's a shot at Dan Lanning's 12-man on the field, little thing to kill some clock. And that has since been illegal. They changed the rule book because of that. All the praise that Dan Lanning got over that, like you just knew that had to really grind the gears of the Buckeye coaching staff, that he found a way to game the system. The rule was immediately put in place, and then he was lauded as a genius at their expense. Chip Kelly goes on further to say, when they prepared for the Rose Bowl, it was unique. It was the message we sent to our players. You can't stop us with 11. You had to stop us with 12. You saw the final results of 11 versus 11. So the message to our team the week leading up to the Rose Bowl, I think resonated really well with the guys. Now, that's cold-blooded, and Oregon fans were quick to come to the defense of Coach Lanning and their program by pointing out that Chip Kelly is 1-6 against Oregon, which is the same analysis they were leaving in my comments leading up to that Rose Bowl, that Chip Kelly was 0 for 5 or 0 for 6 against Oregon, 0 for 5 as UCLA's head coach, 0 for 1 as Ohio State's offensive coordinator. And I had a real problem with that, because I feel like if you are a program that is trying to get to the next level of like respect in the hierarchy of college football, like a lot of Oregon fans are, you are obviously expected to beat UCLA. The head coach at UCLA should be 0 for 5 against your perennial top 10 team. And bragging about that as if that's some kind of accomplishment really rubbed me the wrong way. At any rate, yes, congratulations. You beat UCLA 5 times when Chip Kelly was the head coach. Chip Kelly just roasted the hell out of them. But I think they need to start thinking a little bit differently if they want to get to that next level. They will. They're starting to interact with us more. They just got to recognize they're not talking to Washington anymore. All right. They're talking to Ohio State and Georgia. Step your game up. Jim Knowles was asked about Riley Leonard, his running, his scrambling ability, and how the Buckeyes are going to keep him contained. He didn't say much. He talked about the pass rush lanes, talked about the cage rush, but said at the same time, you can't execute a pass rush if you don't execute a pass rush move. You can't get a hit unless you swing the bat. And for me, when I look at the 10 things that I want to see out of these Buckeyes tomorrow night, this is number 1. Containing Riley Leonard from running the ball, particularly on third down. Georgia was not able to do it. Georgia gave up 80 yards on the ground to Riley Leonard. Penn State held him to just 35 on 18 carries. It takes a lot of discipline. And what do we know about this Ohio State defensive line? It's maddened us at several points throughout the last couple of years, the way Larry Johnson and Jim Knowles have played these defensive end in particular. We've heard, the cage rush and how many people can't stand the cage rush. That's what it takes. It takes Tyreek and Ty Hamilton staying disciplined and not getting moved off their spot. staying gap disciplined. The linebackers not taking missteps. And this is essentially number one. The defensive line staying disciplined. There is nothing more frustrating than a running quarterback who consistently picks up first downs in 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 7. And this is the number one thing I want to see. Number two, Sonny Styles, Cody Simon, they can't get caught up in any misdirection. One misstep, and this guy is gone, 12 yards. He'll take advantage of it every time. He's not like Will Howard, who will run on 4th down. He's looking to run every time. He's not a great passer. He's just not. But he's a great athlete, and he will stick his head in there. I mean, he's tough. Number 3, Notre Dame defensive coordinator Al Golden basically said, I trust my guys playing man. That's how we got here. Chip Kelly has got to let it rip and be aggressive. And it's scary because, in my opinion, there's only 2 ways Notre Dame can win this game. One, you let them coax you into playing into their strength, which would look similar to the Michigan game plan, running the ball a ton, or the Nebraska game plan, running 31 times to just 16 passes. Or number 2, you give them a couple turnovers. If Chip's aggressive, that makes the turnover part scary. This Notre Dame team has 20-some interceptions. That is, you've passed this is fluky or this is luck. These are guys that are good at getting themselves in the right place at the right time. They're good at baiting the quarterback. They are good at getting interceptions. Will Howard is known to throw a couple of what the hell are you doing passes every game, just threw one against Texas. So if Chip is being aggressive, he's got to trust Will. And even if Will throws an interception, I want to see him staying aggressive. What I don't want is to lose a national championship with a game plan that ends up at the end, we're saying like, you didn't try hard enough. And that's basically how we feel when we see a game plan that turtles up and gets conservative. It feels like you didn't give it your all. So I just want to see attack. Number 4, Will Howard has to trust his eyes, and he's got to get the ball out quick. When Will Howard gets the ball out quick, he does great. When he's a little late, not so great. Number 5, JJ's day. Is JJ's day. It is the national championship. He is the best player on the field. Every field he walks on, Jeremiah Smith, get him the targets, great things happen. When he doesn't get his targets, Ohio State risks losing the game. Best player on the field, get him the ball, end of story, no excuses. Number 6, Penn State was successful running on the perimeter. They couldn't run inside. I don't think Ohio State will be able to either. And I hope that we don't see them bang their head against the wall trying to. They've got to push the perimeter. That's where Penn State was able to beat them in the run game. That's where Ohio State can beat them as well on the ground. Get Travion to the outside. Number 7, don't beat yourself. No stupid penalties. That Texas game felt like kind of a one-off. I don't feel like we often see that, but we can't see it again. Number 8, 3rd down, man. The Buckeyes in their 5 biggest games this year, 19 for 60 on 3rd down, just 31.7%. Their opponents, 37.1. Notre Dame in these playoffs, 22 of 43. That's 51% converting 3rd down. Way better than Ohio State, which goes back to number 1, containing Riley Leonard and making him throw the ball. Buckeyes, they got to stay on schedule. They got to take their checkdowns. They got to convert on 3rd. Number 9. There have been times during this year, usually it was early in the year, particularly one game that sticks out to me that really angered a lot of us was the Nebraska game, where this crew has not shown a lot of juice. Now, they're in the national championship game. I suspect we'll see a lot of juice, but I want to see the juiciest Buckeye team we've ever seen. I want to see Lathan Ransom going nuts. I want to see Jack being a madman. I want to see the juice, man. And I suspect we will. And the same thing goes for Ryan Day. though I don't think he can control himself in these big games. We saw the finger guns last week. I'll tell you, the 10 days from Texas to this game has felt like an eternity to me. But I love when he just can't control himself. He tries to be so reserved in everything he does. And when he gets in these big games, it's like it all comes out and it looks like his real personality. And I love it. It is somewhat awkward at times, but I love it. Number 10, show these dudes whose culture's better. I keep hearing culture wins. I've had plenty of criticisms for Ryan Day in the past, plenty of criticism for the support staff, the coaching staff. One thing I've always complimented Ryan Day on and stand behind is Ryan Day's Ohio State culture is the best culture we've ever seen at Ohio State. No trouble. These guys sound like they're 28 years old. Whenever they talk, they make me proud. I feel proud that those guys represent the program the way they do. And these Notre Dame folks are out here talking about culture wins. Obviously don't know a thing about Ohio State. This group of guys, good people, man, good people at this program, and show them culture wins. Now, those are our 10 things. One more thing before I wrap today. Well, two more things. One, if you are someone who looks at this set and looks at these helmets and your eyes light up like, man, I would love to have a Buckeyes helmet with a bunch of stickers, or I would love to have a Ducks helmet. I would love to have an alternate Texas A&M helmet, whatever it is. We got a new sponsor here at JUCK on Bucks. Their name is Green Gridiron, and they obviously wanted to sponsor me because I'm the helmet guy and they're the helmet company, and we appreciate them hopping on with us. But if you want a helmet or a custom helmet for your fantasy football trophy, you can put your family crest on there, whatever you want. You can find a college helmet, an NFL helmet. They have every replica you've ever seen. There are 16 different versions of Texas A&M helmets, Utah helmets, mini helmets, whatever you want. They've got it all. Visors, face masks, they can soup it up for you. No matter what you want, Green Gridiron has you covered. Get your son one as a present. How excited would your son be if you got him a Buckeyes helmet? You know he would. So something to think about. And if you're interested in that, the link is in the description of the videos here at JUCK on Bucks. Check them out, Green Gridiron. Now, I made a video last week about Jim Knowles and Sooner Scoop. Sooner Scoop is On3's Oklahoma website, and they put out a story that was talking about Jim Knowles and the possibility of him coming to Oklahoma as their defensive coordinator. And in that story, they essentially admitted there's absolutely nothing here at this point other than he has family ties to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma would certainly want him on staff. They would want him for the job. And of course they would. Anybody would. He's the best defensive coordinator in the country. Now, a lot of Oklahoma folks came on in those comments and were very angry and irritated with me that I said that. It was in no way a shot at Oklahoma. I was very respectful to Oklahoma. I was simply talking about a website running with the story when there was nothing there and starting a big rumor. They wanted to come and tell me that Jim Knowles' fiance lives in Oklahoma City and she doesn't want to leave Oklahoma. Now, no major journalist had reported this story, so I tried to dig to the bottom of it. And I wanted to see if this was just message board fodder or if it was actually true that Jim Knowles has a fiance that lives in Oklahoma City who has kids who are a little younger. And I have confirmed it is true. And that now with what Jim Knowles said yesterday when he was asked by Brandon Marcello of 247, this could be a possibility. Here's what was asked of him. Well, actually, the question is not quoted. By the way, the video, there is no video. There is video of Jim Knowles giving giving his press conference, which I watched the whole thing, even kept rewinding because I didn't hear this question, though I had read the quote. The quote that was floating around was Jim Knowles was asked about the Oklahoma job, and he said, "I'm focused on beating Notre Dame." Now, that was what was floated. but I found the full quote of what he said. Couldn't find the video. If it exists, I haven't found it. So Brandon Marcello of 247 asked Jim Knowles about the Oklahoma rumors, and Jim Knowles said, quote, "I'm focused on beating Notre Dame. That's all I'm focused on. These things happen when you have success. Players are making plays. My job is to put them in the best position. These things come up when you do well." So it's certainly not a denial. It's not. It's not. And if in fact there is some truth to this, you can certainly see that. I mean, obviously the only logical explanation would be the girlfriend, that he wants to change his, it's a personal thing. Certainly not a football related thing. If there is legs here, it's not going to be a money thing. Ohio State won't let them outbid him. It would be a total bummer. And the Oklahoma fans, boy, they would come after me hard. I'll tell you that. I seem to remember them being a much nicer bunch than they are. But I guess that's what you get when you come out on YouTube and call out Sooner Scoop. Like, if someone called out Letterman Row, I don't think I'd get irritated with them. Anyway, actually, I've got a call out of Letterman Row. Never mind. I'm not going to do it. Anyway. All right, guys. That's all I got on Sunday. Now, remember, tomorrow, we are going to have a show tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow evening, we're going to come on probably 20 minutes before the game, talk about the game together. And then we're going to be live for the entirety of the game. After that, we're going to cut that feed, flip over to the post-game show. So even if you're not with us live for the game, after the game, come on in to the post-game show, which will be another live show. So we're going to have about, 5 hours on the air tomorrow. And I wouldn't want it any other way, as the Buckeyes are playing in the national championship and trying to cap off the season of dreams. I appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to please like the video on your way out. Talk to you tomorrow. Juck on Bucks out. Hey, it's Juck.
Juck? Who is Juck?
Juck on Bucks.
Juck on Bucks. Juck on Bucks?
Juck.
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 Juck on Bucks.
My guy, Juck. Juck on Bucks.
My buddy Juck.
Juck is the Juck.
Juck on Bucks. Okay.
Juck is junk.
The Juck Eyes.
Juck Eyes.
Juck on Bucks.
Junk. Juck.